your house and shit like that. Maybe, I don't know, but I talked to some guy today who thinks otherwise.
And for those people who do believe the Planet X is coming, quit telling the rest of us you're going to be sorry, because you know what? You are too.
We're all going to change it. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen because we're going to make it happen, not because it's something, unless it is the polar shifts. And
unless they're all going to hide out in Tom Cruise's new alien-proof bunker.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? That thing must be nice, dude. You know,
oh, I'm sure he's got a big screen down there and everything.
He's got everything. He's probably got 10 years' worth of everything down there. Women, movies, food, women.
What do you need a woman for? He's got Katie.
Oh, I know.
Oh, no offense to Katie, but, you know.
No, she's twice his height, though. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not tall either, so who am I to say anything? But that's Tom Cruise. I mean.
I would think she was smarter than that, too. Oh, Zeno.
No, she looked like she would be smarter, but, you know, she's not. How old is she anyway?
She's, what, 25, 26 now?
Oh, yeah. She met him like 5 years ago, I think, too.
Man, he hit the jackpot on that. But then he made her shave his head, shave her head.
He did? I don't remember that.
Well, he didn't make her do that, but you know, she's have long hair now. It's like Butch, like she's a male in a lesbian relationship or something.
They just now did that? She just shaved her head?
Nah, it was like a year ago.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that one. Shit. And then there is going to be major changes to the show. This time it will happen. I have no choice, but I'll talk about that later on. And hopefully later on in the show, I didn't have any contact with anyone this week. As Brian, you were sick. I've had major migraines all week and didn't feel well myself, but I don't know how everybody else is feeling. I feel it's all a conspiracy. And
in fact, I'm still not feeling well, so if I suddenly disappear, I haven't left. I just left the room. And
just let us know in the chat room there, and I want to.
I may not have time.
Well, if we hear any
coming from the background, you'll know what I'm doing.
I see in the chat room we have a guest, 1461, whoever that is, welcome, Joe Jogger. We have Symmetrical Profile, of course, Brian Debunker, myself, and No Drama, which is Ken, No Drama 1965 on YouTube, and Capricorn 11.
It's Wayne and Garth.
Party on, Wayne. I don't know, was I off there?
I don't. You know, I never really liked that movie. So.
Am I quiet? Somebody, you didn't like that movie?
I didn't like that movie.
No way.
I guess I'm the only person in America who didn't like that movie.
No, you know, there's some movies out there that other people love that I couldn't stand either. So, okay, did you like, forget it. I don't want to even think about shit like that. All right, let's just talk about this.
What, Behind the Green Door? What?
Well, what was the actress that was in that one? That was like a porno movie, right?
Was that, I don't know, Linda Lovelace in that? I don't know.
Anyway.
They all...
Oh, yeah, this Jeff Peckman video. Jeff Peckman alien video.
Right.
I guess what's the guy's name? Stan Romanek is the guy who supposedly... We talked about... I briefly talked about it before you came on again last week about this video looking real fake. But I guess the video is supposedly out there, or it's not really out there. It looks like people are trying to duplicate it and actually making it more real than what it looks like in the picture.
Right. He won't give it out to the public now. His actual video.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to play a clip. He was on Larry King, and he was talking about that. That's what I should start off with right now.
That cracked me up.
I know. This is some funny shit.
They won't let me release it.
This guy claims that, dude, I can't find the video. This is what I hate about getting all disheveled before this. All right, so, oh, brother. If you go onto YouTube and type it in, do you have yours loaded up? Can we hear yours?
Actually, no, I don't.
Shit. All right, so I'm going to type it in here. Well, the guy claims he videotaped an alien hovering outside or walking around an 8-foot ledge. The window is 8 foot high, and you can see right through it. It looks totally fake. It looks like some sort of trickery with maybe CGI or some mirrors, windows. Who the hell knows what he did? It definitely doesn't look real. But now he says he's not going to release it because MUFON won't let him, or the public won't let him.
The scientists won't let him.
Scientists won't let him release it.
You know, like he doesn't own rights on his own video.
Yes. How's that possible? I think maybe somebody paid him for the rights for the video, obviously.
No, I think it's more like he doesn't want to be exposed quite yet.
And when I saw this guy, now what do I do? I got to go Larry King, Romanek, alien video. Didn't I give you the link to that? I thought I gave you the link in the chat room. Darn it. Yeah, I did. Didn't I? Here it is.
Let's see if I can find it. I can post it.
I found it. Here it is. Here, let's listen to this real quick. This should be good. Larry King.
All right, we have an extraordinary story out of Denver. Let's meet our panelists. Stan Romanek is the man who claims to have shot footage of an extraterrestrial. Jeff Peckman is pushing for a ballot initiative to establish an extraterrestrial.
Is it me or does Larry King sound like he's like a little bit drunk in there? Extraterrestrial.
He always sounds that way.
Really? Because I just started watching this guy every time he's a UFO thing. I never watched him before, but man, the rumors are true. All right, here we go.
Affairs Commission on the Denver City Council. James Meadow is a reporter with the Rocky Mountain News. He attended today's showing of a video that purports to show a space alien. And Jerry Hoffman is an instructor at the Colorado Film School, a veteran film editor who has analyzed the footage shot by Stan Romanek. Stan, when did you take this? What did you see?
It was July 17th, 2003. I actually thought we had a peeping Tom. I was living in Nebraska at the time. I had young twin teenage daughters. Every once in a while, at night I'd get up, let's say to go to the kitchen from watching TV, and the windows were open. I'd see a head look like out of the corner of my eye, some movement in the window. And
I'm going to pause it right there. You heard him say that he set this up because he thought he had a peeping Tom. Because he said he'd wake up and then go get something to eat or whatever, and he'd see a head popping through the window. Isn't there any police reports that should be with this peeping Tom? You think he would have talked to all his neighbors? Well, I know someone did an interview with him and asked him about that, and he says, I have over, 20 reports or something like that, but yet nobody's ever seen any of these police reports. And none of his neighbors have come out to say, yes, there is a peeping Tom. Nobody else has seen this except for this guy, so it's really strange. Doesn't make any sense so far, but here we go.
And every time I ran outside to try to catch who I thought was looking in our window, there was nobody there. I talked to some of the researchers and scientists involved in my case, and they suggested, well, next time this happens, get your video camera out, put it on a tripod, put it on night shot, and pretend you're going to bed. So
Wait, he said he went to scientists. Why didn't he go to the police with that?
Well,
He went to scientists, and that's exactly what he said. He didn't say. He said, well, the scientist that I talked to said you should set it up. But if he wasn't lying, if this was real, he would have said, I went to local police, and they told me to set up a camera. But he said scientists told me to do it because he's got this history since 2003 of videotaping strange objects and being visited. And I think this is the same guy who was on the Oprah Winfrey Show a couple, 3-4 years back, and who videotaped Sirius and didn't have a tripod, so it looked like it was moving back and forth with the tree in a way. But anyway, were you going to say something, Brian?
no, you already said.
Oh, good. See, I can read minds. Never. All right, we'll have to do that again someday. Rich the Psychic. Oh, boy, that was fun. And here we go. Are you okay?
Exactly.
You all right?
I'm fine.
What is it? What? It's not going the way you thought?
No, I'm just feeling dizzy.
Oh, so am I.
got my camera ready, put it on a tripod, pointed it towards the window, and instead of going to bed, I actually went to the next room and got a magazine and wanted to see if I could maybe see it for myself, catch it, and that's how it all happened.
And this was 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Why is it just comes to light now?
Well, there's a lot of things involved with my case, a lot of evidence. The reason it's coming out now, there's a lot of scientists and researchers involved in my case, and we want to make sure that...
Your case being what? A case meaning what?
Well, there's a lot of encounters involved with my case, a lot of UFO encounters involved with my case, and there's a lot of physical evidence, and we wanted to make sure that all the evidence has been looked at by serious scientists. And I have, the reason it's taken so long, if it were up to me, I would have just given this all out a long time ago, but researchers and scientists say, if you want this documented correctly, if you want us to make sure that, everything's what it looks like it is, then, let us do that before you give it out to the public.
I get it.
That is so stupid. Isn't that the dumbest thing you've ever heard, pretty much?
He's like the dumbest person I've ever heard.
He's stumbling over his words. There's another couple minutes here left, but I just wanted to say, the fact that they're saying, and now this guy's certain. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm certain I caught a UFO on tape. I don't need to have a scientist tell me or anything else that it's legitimate. If I see an alien outside my window, I'm damn well going to know I'm not videotaping a balloon or something else. This sounds so... It's like this is really bad. He's stuttering over his words. The guy sitting next to him looks like a puppet. He hasn't moved. He looks like he could be the alien for all we know. And that's, whatever, Peckerwood, Jeff Peckman.
Right.
He's just sitting there. The guy hasn't even blinked. I don't even know if he's real. All right, let's hear what else he says. And Larry King's like, I don't believe a word you're saying either, but anyway, you can just tell.
James Meadow, you watched it, right? Correct? You've seen the video.
I have been at the video. That's right, Larry.
Tell us what you make of it.
Well, it's a little bit odd. It's spooky on the one hand to think that this might be an alien, but to tell you the truth, it's I mean, there's not much there, at least what we saw. We only saw like about a minute, 2 minutes. It's grainy, it's dark. There's a kind of a skull-shaped head that floats up, dark spaces for the eyes, and it looked a little bit like one of the glow-in-the-dark heads I got when I was in Roswell, New Mexico on a trip. And I mean no disrespect, but that's kind of what it looked like. You're being told that this is an actual alien or an extraterrestrial, but in fact, I don't know. I mean, and you know, you're a journalist. We're skeptical by nature. We major in cynicism.
Well, why won't they show it? Why couldn't we show it tonight?
Money.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, does anyone know why? Stan, why couldn't we show it tonight?
Because I have an agreement with the scientists not to do that until they have had a chance to actually do their analyzation of it.
But it's been
Analyzation.
You've shown it to the Rocky Mountain News.
Yeah, but they don't want to have it released to the public yet. They want to make sure that it's been scrutinized correctly. Honestly, if it were up to me, I'd let everybody have it. But
Jeff,
But, you know, honestly, if it was up to me, I would let everybody have a look at it, he says. And, you know, the whole thing just sounds so fucked up. I mean, everything about this is all wrong. I mean, here we are spending another 15 minutes on this, and it's really not even worth it anymore after tonight. But it's just to prove a point, I guess, that we always do here is if it's too good to be true, it's probably not real. And the way this guy's going about it, I don't know. Brian, maybe you can explain a little better. What would be the normal route to take if you did have authentic alien footage?
Well, I mean, I would go to the press. I would make it all public. I would want it all out there for everybody to see.
What if
I wouldn't be listening to scientists saying, "Oh, don't release this until it's scrutinized and nationized."
What if he tried that? And what if he tried it? Let's say you tried that, and they're saying don't go public. Maybe that happened to this guy because he doesn't seem to be naturally speaking. This seems all, you know, like he was told what to say. It's like when you go to court fighting for your life, like OJ did. I mean, this shit here sounds like, you know, it's all planned out.
Well, it sounds like he made this up, tried to pull this off on some people. The scientists said, "You might not want to go public with this because we're not sure we believe this."
So you wouldn't go that route. What route do you think he should go to first?
What
do you think he did?
Well, first I think he needs to hang out with the UFO kid.
I heard it.
I think they have a lot in common.
I can't even do the impersonation.
You know, at this point, I don't think there's anything he can do. Most everybody I've talked to or know, just from looking at the video, says that is absolutely fake. And then he's, you know, like, "Oh, I can't release it." And it's like he's really hiding something. What he should have done, just release it to everyone. I mean, what is he trying to do? Is he trying to really withhold it to hopefully make some money on it later, but he's using the scientists as an excuse for why he's not releasing it? What? Be honest. He's not being honest, I don't think.
Let's look at the other way. Let's say it's real, okay, and he did go to the news and they said, "Look, this guy's got real, we think, alien footage. Let's have one of our experts look at it. Let's call Jim Delatoso and have him look at it." You know,
didn't you say an expert? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry.
No, fuck him. No, Jim's all part of it. He might as well be MUFON as far as I'm concerned. The thing is, maybe the guy went the right route. You know, he did what he thought was right. Maybe he went to the police even. And they said, "Dude, people are going to think you're crazy, but if you have real alien footage, you need to call these people." Maybe those people, you know, called MUFON or some other organization, and they told him, "Yes, this is authentic. Do not go public with this right now." See, now that doesn't make any sense either because, well, why not? Well, because it would make a panic maybe, and, you know, people have such religious beliefs, it would make them think, "Oh, my God, we're not alone. I can't believe this. You know, everything changing." Or maybe they're going to wait for December 21st, 2012.
Well, keep in mind, this is not the first time we've seen video of aliens. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
This guy just went with a stupid route instead of putting it up on the internet like everyone else. And that actually just makes him look worse. So I can't release it because the scientists won't let me.
You know,
your video.
Okay, I'm going to put myself in his shoes. Let's say tonight I see a UFO or an alien outside the fucking window. Well, first off, well, it would have to be a situation where my tripod was up and running. So I'm videotaping the neighbor taking a shower, let's say. No. I have a tripod out. I think there's a peeping Tom in the neighborhood, whatever. The camera picks up this alien looking through the window every night. Here, I don't know how many minutes of footage this guy got, but let's say I get 5 minutes worth of footage. Now I have this footage in my hands. And here, and in real life, I could put myself in that situation because I still think I may have one or two things that are real, but not of alien nature, just UFOs. So where do you go? What do you do? Well, I think I would actually call a couple of people from the news first, but I think that would be a big mistake, and then I'd probably say, well, that was a mistake. I see, Brian, I don't even know where I would go first because I don't trust anybody. So what would I do? That's the whole thing. I wouldn't go to the police because they think I would be crazy, rightfully so. I don't think I would go to the news. They would probably, you know, do what they're doing.
I think you're crazy, rightfully so.
Yeah, and they would do what they're doing to this guy. That's what it would be about. Well, we don't know either way. We'll have one of our experts. You know, like they always say, here, I'm going to send you to my doctor to get you the right prescription you need. You know, it's kind of the same situation.
Here's the deal, though, Rich. He went way beyond. I mean, if he had just done that, that'd be one thing. But he went so far as to say there's no way this could be duplicated without thousands of dollars of special effects
right.
units. And then, what, a few days later, the other guy comes out with his video that he shot for $90 in a few hours that looks much more convincing than this one.
It looks great. It looks much better. Well, we haven't seen this guy's video yet, but it looks way, way better than this guy's photo, this still that we see from the video.
Yeah.
But, you know, so what do you do, man? What do you do if you're this guy? Now, all of a sudden, people think you're crazy. Maybe that's why maybe he did do something in 2003, and then he's just coming out now because the time is right with YouTube and the Internet, and people love this stuff, so the timing couldn't be even better. It has been a dry spell. The last legitimate thing that we haven't seen yet was the O'Hare incident. I'm pretty sure that was it, right?
Right.
Nothing since.
And that's something that I do believe something weird happened out there, but there's no proof of anything. So
yeah, I think something really happened out there, too, because of all the people involved. But this is one guy who says he's been visited repeatedly. Has all the symptoms of a hoax.
His last name's Strieber?
He could be. Maybe a descendant somehow. Maybe his cousin, long distance. I don't know. But this guy is he's a mess. This is just all wrong. So Larry King, I mean, I'll just play the last 45 seconds here, whatever's left. It's kind of funny. But it just makes me, I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I think I don't trust anyone. So what do you do, man? See, if I thought I had real alien footage, you really put your life in jeopardy if it was real. You really do. I think you really do. I don't know. Do you think I'm wrong to think that way?
I think it depends on the approach. I mean, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do it, although this is probably the wrong way.
Well, this is how not to do it. But let's say, I can only imagine what happened now. He went to someone who knew someone and said, look, this looks like the real thing, and our guys can't prove it's fake, but they can't prove it's real. So let's try to make some money, and that's where we're at. I mean, everybody here looks like they're sitting on pins and needles. They're all so robotic. It's such bullshit. I'll just play the last minute. Here we go.
And what do you make of it?
Well, it was very convincing
This
to
is
me,
Peckman.
but I had also seen that at the end of a 2 or 3 hour presentation by Stan on 2 occasions, and it's really just one sliver of 100 different experiences that he's had, unique experiences.
Jeff
So
Woolwine.
it's kind of a final visual confirmation
Yeah.
that what I was starting to believe, based on all this other evidence and witness testimony from top secret employees in the government and other aspects of his story, it just seemed kind of natural and fit everything else. So it was very believable to me.
Yeah. It says aliens' eyes, cheeks, hips, and legs moved, and I guess you see a bunch of shit in this video. It's got to be something. Something.
I didn't see anything.
Well, we see it still. We don't see anything. And to be honest with you, I don't think we're ever going to see anything because it's just like because it's bullshit.
I think the guy has put this video out and had people put it out with him, and he says that the scientists won't let me release it, blah, 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 because he knows when he does release it, it's going to be debunked in a second.
Now,
the original actual video.
It's horrible. This is horrible. But somebody says, I guess they can't hear me. Am I okay? Am I loud enough to everybody out there?
You are a little low.
I can barely hear the playback. Oh, you know, I knew it. I just had a feeling this wasn't going to work. All right. Well, here, I'll send you guys the link. Did you already send the link to everybody?
Nope.
All right, I'm going to put it in the chat room here, and you guys can...
I can do it.
I just did it. There you go.
Oh, okay.
All right, so there, you guys can watch that at your leisure. All right, so we're coming up to the first, we're only doing an hour to an hour and a half show, depending on how busy it gets. But
which this week is probably good because
yeah,
my stomach's doing flip-flops. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I can't hear it, believe me. I thought, no, I can't tell. If I did, then it would probably be pretty hilarious for us, but sorry to say that. Not for you, but for us to hear all that. Yeah, if you got to take a break, go ahead. You know what? We will take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about some changes that are going to happen here. And I don't know, I think Ken, No Drama, is going to call in and talk about, he had an interview with Peckman. So he did a one-on-one interview with Peckman. I guess, I don't know how he did it, but he's going to explain how he did it. Well, that might be him calling in now. I just checked the board. Is that you, Ken?
That's me.
Hey, I was just talking about you. Okay, so before we go to break, I just played the video of Peckman and whatever the fruitcake's name is over there and on Larry King Live. And you yourself had an interview with Peckman, the guy who's helping this guy get the video out to the world. So why don't you explain how that happened and what happened?
Well, he's got a website, and I'll put it in the chat room in a little bit, but he's got a website where he's trying to...
I was just going to let everybody know, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just the way this delay is. This is No Drama 1965 on YouTube. His name is Ken. Sorry about that. I just wanted people to go to your place if they want to check it out while they're listening to your story here.
Oh, I'm getting all kinds of hits here lately.
So you got this interview with Beckman.
Yeah, I went to his website. He's got a website up that he's trying to get donations for, $500 donations.
Who, Stan Romanek or Peckman?
Peckman, to get this damn bill on the ballot to have a extraterrestrial commission here in Denver.
Okay.
And so I told him I'm starting to become a film student and stuff, and I want to be a journalist, and I'd like to have a sit down with him, and I'm really interested about this ballot initiative that he's trying to get pushed forward and stuff, and if he would meet with me.
Was that a bullshit line that you were trying to say?
Yeah.
I got to admit that's pretty baldy of you, but no.
Well, no, it took I'd say about 15 emails before he even answered them.
And you don't have any credentials to back it up. All right, we'll talk to you. All right, so he agrees to an interview.
He's talking to everybody, so.
Yeah, he wants to. I get it. So he's talking to you.
Yeah, and so we met at this tavern, and I drank Cokes, and he drank 7 and 7s on my bill.
Yeah.
And
says a lot right there.
So we talked a little bit about this initiative and what he needs and what I could do to help. And of course, he's talking about money and stuff like that. So I kind of switched gears on him real quick and started talking about this video. And there was a guy named Steve that was with him.
Okay.
That kept eyeballing me, and that's all I know about the guy. But anytime I was asking questions like, why don't you bring the footage forward? If this guy was so worried about his daughters having a peeping Tom, why didn't he notify the police and stuff like that? And all I got answers on that was, MUFON's handling all that, or Stan Romanek's handling all that, depending on the question. So.
Oh, but the police aren't handling that. MUFON's taking care of the police now. Okay, I see how that's working out.
And so, so finally I sit there and I go, well, a lot of people are kind of ticked off that and I said this point blank to him. I said, a lot of people are seeing this as a way for you guys to promote a documentary and a book by using a voting platform here in the state of Colorado, and and I'd like to know your position on that. And I got a really mean look. I mean, and the big guy Steve gave me a really mean look, and that's when they both stood up and said, "Okay, we're done."
Guys,
really?
I'm going to interrupt a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh my
Okay.
God. So you are the first sign, the first question that could shake up anything, and they got to run.
Well, they got up, and old Jeff went around and was talking to some of the people in the bar about his initiative and trying to get him on the petition.
Oh, I thought it was just, so there was a bunch of people there. You just kind of meandered your way in.
No, I invited him to meet me there.
Okay, all right.
It's a local place I know of.
Oh, so he started talking to other people?
Yeah, and trying to push this initiative and the petition in their faces, and this guy Steve kept eyeballing me. So I went and sat up at the bar and was talking with one of the guys there that I know. That's why I picked the bar. I know most people there. And
was Steve a bodyguard or something?
I think he was. And so then they stood by the door for about 10 minutes, just looking at me, because I was done with all my Cokes. I drank 2 Cokes to his 5 or 6, 7 sevens.
You got a sugar high, and he's wasted.
And so I watched them, and they watched me, and they watched me, and so then I stood next to this big biker guy and kind of casually carried a conversation off with the guy. And
like you knew him?
Yeah, and they went out. They went outside. And, I watched out the window until they got up onto the highway, and then I left.
He took off in his spaceship?
I think so. But then I also was at Stan Romanek's website in the forum asking Stan about why he didn't notify the police. And he says, you can look, I did file a report. Well, he gave me he just said, all you have to do is just type my name in. You'll find any police reports in Nebraska where this took place.
Public record.
Yeah, and there's no report. There's no police report.
No, I know.
And the ones that he claimed here in Colorado, there's no police report on those either.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I guess he really doesn't care about his kid or his girl or whatever.
Well,
we all know it's fake.
Well, his wife was the one that moderates the forum, and she don't like me.
Well, this is so interesting because it was the end of '04 or early '05. I was just into this UFO thing back then, and I remember because I was asked to go on the Oprah Winfrey show if I had availability, and I think it was a March show, and I said sure, because I was one of these up-and-coming guys with UFO footage, which hasn't been debunked, but they chose him over me. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. I haven't done the research yet, but I'm very positive it's him. As soon as I saw this guy's face, I said, that's the guy who was on Oprah. And he was talking about Uranus, or Sirius Uranus. Geez, that was a Freudian slip. So he's definitely has no, I already talked about it earlier, but now he's saying he's had over 100 visitations or 100 encounters with aliens and UFOs, and it's been going on since then. Well, obviously, if he was on Oprah, he must have liked the limelight so much that he finally got his way back in, and this is it. So if that's the same guy, I gotta find that and definitely call him out on that too.
Well, I got an invitation from Lisa Romanek, Stan Romanek's wife, to be at his first lecture with the first viewing of the video.
And where is that going to be?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, geez, that's only a 5-hour flight for me. Maybe I'll go 4-hour flight.
It's like a 45-minute drive for me.
No, I mean, I'd love to go. We you and I could meet.
I'm going because I'm probably one of the few that's not going to have to pay.
Well, I don't care. I'll pay. How much is it? They charging you to go in? It's got to be at least $50.
Well, it's a 4-hour lecture.
So it's probably at least $50. Because I know a couple of years ago when what's his name, the Hispanic guy, Jaime Maussan, came out. He was charging $35 per head for a 3-hour conference.
Yeah, that's what they were doing too. They were doing that in.
Yeah, they're going to double it. I knew it. Yeah, for this one, they'll probably double it.
Oh yeah, because
they're asking for money on the website. It's the biggest no-no of all in ufology.
Well, they're asking for money. They're wanting to share. They're wanting to share experiences and stuff like that. And
what website is that? Let's give out the call.
Here, hold on. I'll let me get to my computer. I was outside trying to get away from the dog.
That's fine. If anybody wants to call in, the number is 646-652-4981. I'm Rich Giordano, host of the AIDS UFO Show, and Brian D. Bunker is my co-host. And we have Ken, who is No Drama 1965 from YouTube, telling us his experience or encounter with Mr. Pennick, or what is his name again?
Peckman.
Peckerwood, yeah, Peckman. Was that a dog?
Yeah, that's my my husky. He talks to me
every
time I get on the phone. But the website is for Stan Romanek is Stan Romanek, all one word, .com.
And that's ROMANEK?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much enough of this guy. We all know that that footage isn't going to ever be shown, I think, to the public in the form that I think it would be in. They'll never be on YouTube. If it, I don't know. What do you think? You think they're actually going to put it in a documentary, just like the O'Hare video?
They got regardless of what they say, they got MUFON back at them. You know they will.
So nothing's going to happen.
Because they keep insisting that MUFON has nothing to do with it, but MUFON was the one running the press conference, so,
It's all bullshit, we know it. So anyway, well, that's that. I appreciate you telling me about that. We're going to take a break here and come back in a few minutes. This is about a 4-minute break. It's one of these funny prank calls, and I just can't, you can hang out, just chill out, anything you want to do, but I appreciate you calling in on that.
Anytime, Rich.
And I'm gonna put a couple links back on the radio page to stuff that you sent me about how this guy's a slime bag and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I could go on for another hour about this guy, but that's the point. All right, we'll be back. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the changes that are coming up in the show. It shouldn't take but a few minutes, and then we'll get into why Planet X is not heading our way. So we'll be back right after post. Brian, you told me that that's the kind of thing they do, and now I know why. I mean, you can only talk about UFOs for so many weeks, months before you start repeating yourself and talking about, look, we're doing Planet X. I've done this twice already in the year and a half on Blog Talk Radio.
Right.
I've had to get 2 guests on. I mean, they all said the same thing. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just figured it's time. The AZ UFO show is what it is, and I feel like it's run its course. So I don't even know if I'm going to stay here on Blog Talk Radio. There's a couple other venues out there I may want to try, which I do have an account on this place called NowLive.com, where I guess it's called the UFO Bad Boy, but of course I'll change that. I tried being somebody I'm not. Yeah, it's time for a change. So I already put up for next week. Next week I'm going to be talking about HARP and how I heard recently that it may have had some interaction with 9/11, possibly using it to take down the World Trade Center and Building 7. So there's a conspiracy to talk about, and I know how you feel about that stuff, but Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have more to talk about. So we'll just see where it goes. I'm tired of talking about the same stuff every week. That's why. So it's time for a change, and I think it'll be good. It'll kind of be like getting a new, well, no, you know what? I almost likened it to like when we got our football team here in Arizona, but they gave us the Cardinals. Fucking worst team in the league, never won a Super Bowl. Well, it's been 100 years, but they're the biggest losing team ever, so I don't want to compare it to that. But we do have a caller, and I think it is Sneaker on the line. Hello?
Hey, Rich. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, just fine. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Oh, you sound like you're really you sound terrible.
It's, yeah. It really hit again in the last 20 minutes.
Dude, you need to. Maybe if you got to go, go. I mean,
I may have to, but I'm going to hang in there as long as I can.
All right.
I heard him.
I know. I feel bad.
Okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better, Brian.
Thanks.
Well, Sneaker, thanks for calling in. You're known as Sneaker's Head on YouTube, I'm sure, right? Still
Yes, that's correct.
And you call in each week. Well, the last couple of weeks with us, last month actually, because of the 2 weeks off and a couple of things that Brian and I ironed out. We haven't heard from you with your links. You give us links to special things that are, oriented with UFOs or NASA or anything scientific. And what do you got for us this week?
Well, I follow my nose, and of course, I would like to give a tip of the hat to Ken for doing a remarkable job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On getting that. I thought he was going to. Ken and myself had a conversation by email over. He was basically letting me know how it went down.
Yeah.
And he was asking me what should I add as questions, and I tell you, he really did a great job considering the circumstances of that interview.
Right.
And there's more to that story than meets the eye. An old Stan Romanek has got a history, and my personal feelings, the entire thing was orchestrated and it was done several years ago.
Okay.
And the more I've looked, I've spent about 6 to 8 hours, because my thing is researching. And the more I've looked at about 6 to 8 hours of research on that whole story, the more I'm coming back with comments from people who are going into forums and basically spilling their guts about what they saw and heard at the time that video was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a silent partner working for Stan a few years back, apparently, who helped him on some work in CGI. And as far as from what I can determine from the forums, that the venue being that Romanek is so close to Peckman as far as, they're being in the same business, basically, Huckstering people. Peckman has a history of bogus health aides, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and apparently they both met at one of their forums, and Aurora was the venue, I believe, Aurora College, and they might have met there, but it happened a few months back. The video clip was put out and shown then. It was generating a lot of local interest, so apparently Peckman decided to carny the deal up, or bump it up a notch by throwing in that business with the issue petition for Colorado. And I looked at that very hard, and if those boys decide to push that through using that hoax video, which might be shown as hoax and no other documentation, they could very well be in legal trouble over that.
You really think so?
Oh, positively. I've been looking at that also. Colorado issue petitions have a long history of people who try to pull stuff. So.
Well, if you prove it's a hoax, but so far that hasn't happened.
Well, what they tried, Peckman tried to tie it into his program, as part of the package.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so if they push that package like that, or they try to convince voters to sign an initiative, or a petition based on that evidence, in other words, they could be in serious trouble.
Well, they'll want to see the original tapes.
Well, who knows how they would do that? But if they once they put it out, and of course Stan's got his own little agenda with this book and documentary. Ken's done a remarkable job, and I'll let Ken speak about that whole thing. He's spent a lot of time on it. I just put about 8 hours in, just doing the background on it.
Which is a lot. Yeah.
I right from the get-go, right down to the bone, I knew that thing was fake. So.
Well, the guy claims over 100 visitations or encounters now.
He's a privileged guy, huh? One of the privileged few.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Hey, I've got a couple links for your listeners, and I know that you're going to be switching gears and going into paranormal stuff and the conspiracy theory stuff.
Yes,
I think that's a great way to get yourself involved in a new program.
Well, thank you, and I think it's because I know and feel strongly about a lot of conspiracies myself, so I'm very open-minded, but I am a skeptic still, but when I see something, I want to talk about it, so I think I have a lot more to offer and a lot more knowledge behind what we'll be talking about in the future as far as conspiracies go, because that stuff I love more than this. So
yeah, there you go. You follow your heart, whatever draws you in. That's what you're most interested in.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to
What I've been saying from the beginning, I'm I'm just molding myself, and hopefully someday I can get a nice package and get a real radio show. But I don't know.
Well, you know, it's a good thing too because, you know, like you mentioned before, all the UFO stuff's been beaten to death, except for this Peckman Romanek business, which you could always, you know, incorporate into a future show,
right?
Because it's a topical item, but everything else has, you know, pretty much been played. But
I know.
hey, I've got some stuff, a couple of links for your for your listeners.
Sure.
Because I'll be continuing on with my UFO work as time goes by. But I found some stuff just to give your viewers a couple items, and it will help them down the line. And it's kind of interesting too. The first item would be a website I call it's called recycledradio.
Okay.
.com. And if you Google recycledradio.com and then add UFO books wanted, the guy has a listing of about 250 to 300 books I've never seen before.
No way.
And some of them are apparently rare. And if your listeners are looking for a great anthology of books about the subject of UFOs, it's right there. And it goes back to the late 40s, I guess.
Are these paperback or are they online books?
I don't know. I just saw the listing of the books and I go, wow, you know, and there was and so many people have written material on UFOs and published. And this guy basically has an entire running list of all the books that are out there.
That's neat.
And some are rare. And
cool.
I thought to myself, wow, this is great. I should let people know about this site.
That's cool. And what is it called again?
It's called, if they Google recycledradio.com,
okay.
and then add UFO books wanted, which the guy's he's a buyer for UFO books.
Cool.
They can just add UFO books wanted or add rare, and that listing will pop up.
Great.
And
cool.
let me see what else I got here. Well, I'm gonna let me see what else. And another item I found an old painting of the original Rainier, Washington incident, the Arnold incident back in '47. A guy actually did a painting of it. And I found that on a website, which is kind of neat. It's a long titled website, but the website is kind of neat too because it shows the complete history of the American missile program.
Yeah, they're running a NASA program on Discovery, I think, or something this week. It's on right now.
Oh, okay.
We're doing the history of all the men in space. It's a 2-hour show.
Yeah, the Tom Wolfe deal, Right Stuff.
Yeah.
That was very good video.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I found this UFO painting, which was just amazing. I saw that. They want $350 for it. They're not giving it away.
Jeez.
But hey, if anyone wants to see that, it's at a site called Collect, CLLECT, Air, AIR /missiles, MISSILES, space, SPACE, at Commerce, COMMERCE, Market, MARKET, Place, PLACE.
That was easy.
Yeah. Collect air missiles, space, at commercemarketplace.com. And just a great rehash of the entire, basically, the American aerospace program. And down at the bottom, they've got some stuff on UFOs.
That's cool.
And I found another story, which is also very interesting, about the Lockheed flying saucer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a whole lot of people don't know about this one, but the flying saucer was actually the rotodome for one of their first AWACS aircraft. But the story kind of got twisted around. They started doing some PR work, and local employees jumped in on it and made the thing look like a flying saucer. And before you know it, it got out that Lockheed had built a flying saucer. So they put a little green man at the top. I've got the whole picture bio of the website of it. It's really funny. And but this, interestingly enough, the story ties into the UFO sightings over the West LA area, over Rocketdyne back in the late 50s. And also ties into the sightings that happened with Kelly Johnson prior to him designing the U-2 and the SR-71.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting site. If you want to take a quick look at that, it's 1953 Lockheed UFO case.
Is this any relation to the old Avro car?
No. That was by Avro Canada.
Right.
The ones that designed the Aero aircraft.
I mean, was it along the same technology that we're talking about here?
Oh, not at all. This was the rotodome, the APS-82 rotodome, which was designed originally for the Lockheed Constellation, Howard Hughes' Constellation. And Lockheed was got a contract to build the Rotodome as an AWACS aircraft, and they were designing different ideas, and they came up with using this flying saucer idea on a pylon. But,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when
okay.
the pictures got out, people started saying, well, there it is, Lockheed's building a flying saucer.
Well, I'm putting a link in the chat room right now. It's called the Coanda Effect RC Flying Saucer Test Flight. Have you guys seen this?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure. I just accidentally came upon it while you were talking, and this guy made a little, an RC, a little flying saucer. I mean, it looks like the real thing. I mean, this is so, by looking at this, if I didn't know any better, if I saw this 1,000 feet away, it would look like the real deal.
Wow.
Got a propeller in the middle. I put the link in the chat room.
Cool. Hey, and also your listeners are interested in getting the background on why a lot of UFO evidence was suppressed by CIA. It had a lot to do with the Project Aquatone, and Brian's probably familiar with that.
I missed what you said, actually.
Project Aquatone.
No, well, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was the U-2 program. And
okay.
They were first doing their overflights. The CIA was trying to suppress information on the overflight, the flight paths and all that, because people were seeing them and they didn't know what they were. So the buzz got going that it was UFOs and stuff. And so in fact, they changed the paint colors just to try to keep the sun from reflecting off of them. But you mentioned about a month ago regarding Native Americans and their interest in astronomy and all that stuff. I found a Native American observatory, and that's located at Rocketdyne in the West Valley. I found that while I was doing a research on a fire suppression program for CAL FIRE. And that's interesting if you guys ever want to see pictures of an actual Native American Chumash observatory. It's very well protected. It's been documented by pictures, but there's no way to get in. It's all.
Where's it located?
It's all heavily secured. It's at the Rocketdyne facility over in Chatsworth.
Okay, I was going to say I live in the Chumash area, so.
Yeah, the Chumash area extends all the way to Santa Barbara.
Right.
And then
I'm halfway there. You know where I'm at.
Yeah, I know where you're at, believe it or not. But if anyone wants to go take a look at that Native American Observatory, that would be on the Topanga, as in Topanga, Fire Success Story. And that's FIRESUCCES Story. And while I was doing some research on UFOs and Native Americans to see how far back they documented anything. And I found some other great websites regarding that. Also, I found a website for San Diego. University of Cal at San Diego has a website tying into China Lake and showing the petroglyphs up north in California here. And they go back 12,000 years, those petroglyphs. So I'm thinking maybe I would find something regarding UFOs if I kept looking. But
well, haven't you ever been to Jeff Woolwine's website?
No, I have no interest in going there.
Oh, well, maybe you could, but there aren't the real petroglyphs on there. So you may want to go see some of those petroglyphs anyway, just for a little bit.
I will have to check that out.
Yeah, it's petroglyphs in the sky. I can't stand the guy, but he's got a lot of cool pictures of petroglyphs, so you may want to look at those.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a ton of stuff here. I went over this with William a couple of weeks back, but I didn't hear back from him, and I didn't know what I wanted to call out of this list, so basically I'm just, flying by wire here. But how are you guys fixed for time? Are you going to cut the show short tonight or what?
Well, we're just playing it by ear, so whatever happens, we only have a half hour left.
Okay.
But for Joe Jogger in the chat room, he says, does a man talking have a show? That's for you. Do you have a show anywhere?
No, and I don't have any CDs. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. Everything I do for myself. But I thought I would be generous and share with somebody because, I was piling up so much information. And so I thought, well, when I started calling into your show, I figured, hey, this would be great, and I thought this would be kind of cool. Like, throw some tidbits out there,
Yeah.
Throw a little bit of bread out there, see if anybody wants to follow the trail.
Have you been getting any feedback from people?
Not very much. I've been, like YouTube, I've been meeting some wonderful people. I met you.
Right.
Rich, and then several other really, really great people. I personally haven't met on the eyeball side, but it's never been on the phone, it's by email, and it's been a real thrill. I've really enjoyed it.
One of these days I'll stop over there for me and Ed's Pizza.
One of these days you can come over to Blackbird Air Park.
That'd be cool too.
You know where that's at, right?
Oh yeah.
We've got two U2s. Oh, Rich, by the way, we have a place called Blackbird Air Park right here, and we have two U2s, an A-12, SR-71, an M-21 drone. This stuff all used to be top secret. It's out there for public display. So you can go out, sit out there and have lunch, and the Dossettes walk you through and explain the history of all these top secret aircraft. Pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
And plus a whole collection of aircraft out here. It's right near the base.
Yeah, I've looked at that on the satellite maps. Man, It's just loaded out there.
The base is huge. We've got all the major contractors here in Palmdale. And any programs that fly out of here, I monitor all the flights. So I know what's coming and going. And, well, by the way, you know, that, for instance, Wiki was saying, well, all the 117s have been sent over to Tonopah and to Area 52 and Area 51 have been receiving the 117s. But they're not, they haven't all left yet. We've still got 4 here and 2 fly over almost every other day because they're still using them for research. So plenty of opportunity. I know what's going on over here, so you know, it's not going to escape me. But other than that, guys, hey, Brian, how you still holding up there okay?
I'm trying.
Well, you hang in there,
Lots of deep breaths.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Well, you've got plenty of clean air to breathe anyway. Don't worry about that.
That's the one good thing about living up here, is unless of course there's one of our famous forest fires going on. Then.
Yeah. Well, you guys had one pretty close last summer. I know how close it was.
Yep.
2 years ago. You remember that one?
Was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
I thought it was a year ago.
That was the one where they evacuated our town.
Oh my goodness.
And I spent 4 days in a Red Cross shelter. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, it was touch and go. I remember that. And the area near you was heavily was put on television. It was shown what a fire looks like when it comes at you and the flames are 200 feet high.
Yeah.
Really scary stuff.
Well, the thing is, and a lot of people don't realize, with a forest fire, when you're driving out, when they evacuated us, we were driving out. It was like driving in black fog.
Wow.
I mean, it was just, you couldn't see the road hardly.
You know, Rich, they shoot a lot of movie and commercial stuff up in Brian's area.
Oh, yeah?
And it's always interesting if you're sitting down at a certain point near a certain area, you'll see the traffic come out after they shoot, and there'll be 200 or 300 cars in a row. It's hilarious to watch. Brian, I know where you're at, so I pretty much I know.
They just shot a space pig vampire movie here.
Oh, my God.
Something like that with, who's producing? Master P.
Is this going to be it?
Oh, no.
Well, I don't want to tie you guys up. I've got a ton more stuff. You know, someday what I should do is you should give me a page and I can just link stuff over personally. You know, that way people don't have to listen to me yak about it.
No,
and,
it's good to hear you.
I tell you, man, the conspiracy thing, you want to run with that, you'll have a lot of fun. And it amazes me that the statistics are out there and the number of people who are in the dark or don't know or who are dubious about current things. You know, let's say, for instance, and I'll throw this out there, 9/11.
Yeah.
You would be amazed at the otherwise very intelligent or remarkably intelligent people who have doubts about the whole thing. And let me tell you right now, I have no doubt that what has been presented on television is fact, as it happened.
Oh, yeah.
People involved. But you wouldn't believe the people who believe otherwise.
Well, because it's too easy to accept that, oh, someone didn't like us, so they attacked. We've got to come up with something in our minds that there must be a reason. There must be some evil thing. It can't be the evil that's already there.
Well, we can talk about that on next week's show.
Sure, there you go. I could go on about the genesis of the Iraq War with the research I've done. People don't even, you know, half the people, when you bring up the two words Bush Doctrine, they do not know what Bush Doctrine is.
Right.
They've never heard of it. And yet it's the nut or the kernel of the Iraq War.
The driving force.
Yeah, the Paul Wolfowitz and Donald Rumsfeld. And basically, another interesting thing, you would be surprised, the people that were working for Bush who went through RAND, R-A-N-D, the RAND Corporation,
right.
The number of people who worked for RAND who were on the board of RAND. And the push for that war, it was war gamed very heavily. And I'm not so sure that the major oil companies, which don't control OPEC but control the U.S. economy, weren't tipped off back when Cheney had his private meeting at the White House. They weren't tipped off that there was going to be a war and how it would affect the economy. They knew before the general public knew. I'm sure.
But the only thing that would kind of contradict that is the fact that if that's the case, how come Halliburton or any other American company isn't in the top 5 of the contract recipients?
Well, they were, but they were.
You know what I'm saying there.
There was other companies, not necessarily Halliburton, but other companies had were conflicts of interest, like KBR, a heavy conflict of interest as far as the contracting goes. You know what? I think we should defer this to another time. I know you guys are going to run out of time.
Right.
But I've done quite a bit of research, and I just think it all goes back to there was parties who shouldn't have been privy to the information who got it.
Although I do want to say one thing on the Iraq thing. People deny it left and right, but they used to. You know, they always talk about the weapons of mass destruction. How do we know he has them? How do we know he has them? I'll tell you how. Back in the 80s, we have the bill of sale.
Right, we sold it.
Yeah, that's true. You know, another really, I know I hate to drag this one out. I know you guys would love to talk about it, but the thing that really set me on course about the whole, made it very suspicious, was how they basically got Ritter in and Scott Ritter out before he could do his job.
Right.
You know, and that was a real question mark. They pushed that whole thing that, you know, that war, I think the whole deal with that war supersedes 9/11 by a long shot, but, you know, it's what it is. So.
Oh, this was all coming to a head and going to happen even if 9/11 didn't happen.
Right. It was sooner or later. And, of course, Powell was on the sidelines on the whole deal, and, he should have stepped up and said, hey, because he, of course, was against the Bush doctrine. He wanted to containment, and Bush wanted a war. So,
yeah.
Well, it's a deal. It's a bad deal, but I'll let that go with that. Rich, it's a great thing you're going to do, though, running with that whole conspiracy.
Well, how easy it is to keep just going. We can just pick anything and go with it. And UFOs, you just can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Coast to Coast has, they keep things hot and topical by throwing conspiracy people. And they have plenty of guests. They can drag things out of the woodwork.
Every week they have somebody, I know.
I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to talk about, what is it, Mel's Hole?
Who?
Isn't that what it's called? I can't remember the guy's name now. Mel's Hole? Somewhere up in Washington, the bottomless pit.
Oh, you mean? No.
I can't remember. I think it's Mel's Hole or someone's
like
hole.
A credit card problem.
or the Voices from Hell.
Yeah, that was with an old Art Bell thing. There's 20 years ago or something.
Yeah,
see,
that's
the microphone down there, and they heard the screams.
Although it's just a bunch of recordings all overlapping each other.
Of course it was. It's probably his neighbors.
In other words, it was fake, people.
Otherwise, we'd still be there listening in.
It did sound creepy. I'll say that. When I heard it, I was like, "Whoa, that's a weird sound."
I like the way Art Bell set it up. Now, some of you may be very frightened about what you're going to hear. It's like, he was good.
Well, hey, Rich, I have another question. Are you
All
going to also get into the paranormal stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Ghosts, everything.
The whole 9 yards.
I know a lot about that stuff too, and I always wanted to make the website UFOs and Ghosts, but it just happened to work out this way. So. Oh, great.
This will help me out because I can get and research what I do any old way I want and follow my nose. And I know a couple local kids who are running a paranormal research outfit, and they've been looking for somebody to help them, and they've been looking for somebody who's got some electronics experience. And so I was going to put some stuff together for them, and hey, whatever I come up with, I'll let you guys know about it.
That'd be great. Yeah, definitely.
From the instrumentation, and
Definitely. Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the UFO or friggin' Ghost Hunter show.
I like the facts. I like the science. Video is cheap, and whatever you see in video, don't believe. But
yeah, I know.
But I like the facts, and I like the science, and the stuff that builds up into that is kind of fun, and getting involved in it.
I just like to be taken out of the reality for a while, and they do a good job of that for me.
And I love the stories too. People can spin some great stories.
Right. Well, the show they did last week, the place was I guess an old. It was a hotel, but they had accounts of lamps moving and people seeing the blue lady. That's what it was. I can't remember the whole thing right now, but I didn't expect to talk about it. But they go to debunk this thing. They're not getting any weird feelings. They're crawling up in the attic or the ceiling, and they see this a thing. I don't know how it was. It was done with pressure tubes, a timer, and this timer was set to go off and shake each one of the lamps above the bar.
Uh-huh.
And it was all set on a timer. When they walked into the women's bathroom, they could see through a mirror that seemed out of place, and behind the glass you could see...
I'm on the phone. I'm almost off.
You could see a face behind the mirror, and it was the light bulb was out, so they fixed the light bulb. And the guy never told them about any of these things that they put up there in this hotel or whatever, this bar. So they were real pissed off. They went out there for nothing,
Wow.
And, so they just got duped, and it was a pretty good show to see how pissed off they got. But I didn't know if you saw that one.
And that duping can be done very easily. You got to get some guests who are good at sleight of hand and illusions. You got to talk to some of those guys because they really know their stuff. They could fool people.
Well, the guy they interviewed, they said, well, we heard your claims and everything, and we're going to go ahead and do the investigation. Then they find all this stuff. And then he asked the guy later on, Jason and Grant, how come you didn't tell us that this place was set up with timers and all this gadgetry? He goes, I'm so used to it, it just slipped my mind. Oh, man. Jason looked like he wanted to reach around the table and just choke the guy out. They were pretty pissed off because they drove all the way to California for nothing.
For nothing.
Well, I guess they get paid. But anyway, that's part of the business. But there's a couple hotels out here in Arizona and a couple of homes I'm set to go and do my own little hunting on. So I actually will be doing UFO hunting.
Well,
ghost hunting. Ghost hunting.
Great. Hey, listen, guys, I'll go ahead and let you roll with your show.
Yep.
Actually, I want to ask you a question real quick.
Sure, go right ahead.
You're a poker person.
Yeah.
Talking about strange things. I just have to bring this up. You're a poker person, right?
Yeah.
Last week I was in a tournament, made the final table. Tell me if this is a bad beat. Tell me if you think this is a bad beat, okay? Guy goes all in. He's 8-8. I call ace-ace. Flop comes ace-3-8. Turn comes king. River comes 8. How bad is that beat?
Oh, no, man.
I'm still hung up on that. And that was a week ago.
Yeah.
I won a free poker chip set, nice chip set, a limited edition Pro Series. But
are you playing at the local casino?
No, actually, that was a charity event for World Series of Poker satellite entry.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Okay.
But I've actually never been to any of the local.
There was a local casino right down the road from you. You know where I'm talking about. Down
You
by
got
the
one
Jack
there?
in the Box. Huh?
Oh, up in Mojave.
No, down by the Jack in the Box. There was one there a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly.
Here on the mountain?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I knew about that.
No, it was right by the Jack in the Box.
This is a Mexican food restaurant?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, that was the place before. Yeah, it was there before. It was a poker.
Oh wow, no, I have never even heard of
I
it.
think it was a card.
He's saying time's up.
Well, you know where the other ones are, of course.
Yeah. I just had to bring that up though, because talking of strange coincidences and.
We're talking in code here. Jack in the Box means, you know,
Well, I don't want to give away
underground lair.
I don't want to give away his 20.
No, you don't.
want to.
Don't do that.
No.
Well, all right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on this week. Next week, whatever you want, bring it on.
Sure.
Whatever links you got, 9/11 links or any kind of weird stuff, ghost. UFO.
Well, people love ghost stories.
Love them. I love
Who
them.
shot JFK? Or wait a minute, what is it? Who shot JR?
Oh, well, that's right, yeah. It was all a dream anyway, just like our lives.
Oh, is that what the scene was when they're coming out of the shower and...
And then Bobby wasn't dead.
I saw the Family Guy episode that did a joke on that. That's all I ever saw.
That's how you remember it?
What's Family Guy?
All right, guys.
The camera. Okay.
All right,
Let you go. Have a
Take it
great
easy, dude.
weekend. What's left of it.
Yep.
And we'll give you a call next week.
All right.
Are you going to be keeping the same hours?
Yeah, same hours.
Okay.
I was thinking about going back to Saturday, but
Saturday night was even better. I like Saturday night.
But it's not easy for. I have to start an hour later if I was going to do that.
Oh, I see. Because you lost your slot, or.
No, I work every other Saturday. I don't have enough time to do my personal
I
stuff.
see.
And
Yeah,
Sunday I don't work.
the problem is with a Sunday night that if it rolls over to a work day, a lot of people who are your international listeners can't dial in because you know, they're committed time-wise.
And they're working, yeah.
Yeah, they're working. So.
Or they're just. I know. I don't know
you know the deal.
I was thinking about doing a show on Mondays and maybe just do it that way, but everybody works, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, at any event, Saturday would be great. Saturday evening if you can get it in there.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it.
Okay. Well, let you go, guys. Take care.
All right, thank you. That was.
All right.
Thank you.
Brian, Brian, get better.
I'm hoping to.
Hey, we'll have a lunch one of these days for sure.
All righty.
Okay.
Take care, man.
Take care, man.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
If anybody wants to go visit Sneaker, he has the channel name Sneaker Set on YouTube. That's YouTube Sneaker Set, and we appreciate all of his links. And,
Well, I thank you for that, Rich. We'll catch you later.
oh, I thought you hung up already.
Oh, no. Slam. Goodbye.
I'll do my radio voice for one. All right,
Okay.
Have a good night.
We'll see you. Good.
Bye-bye. And, well, we've got a whole 12 minutes to talk about Planet X not coming our way, but I would rather talk about anything but Planet X, to be honest with you.
It's a crock.
It's a crock of shit.
We've talked about it before. People who believe are going to believe because they'll believe in anything. People who aren't going to believe are smarter than them, so there's, you know.
Well, you know, I don't even know where to start. You know, I was going to do this thing, but, you know, they're talking, why is it so important about a Planet X? They have a couple of topics here. I found this link. I'll put it up here for you guys in a second. Could Planet X have killed the dinosaurs? Was it the Nemesis theory? And that's Nemesis is Planet X, right?
I believe so. It's got so many different names.
Ultimately, the idea of a Planet X in our solar system started to seem more possible with the idea that we have two suns, binary. However, our other sun is a failed star or brown dwarf.
It's never ignited, basically.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
So that's what Planet X is. It never ignited.
Well, basically, it never fused, is what they say. You know, because a lot of star systems that are out there are binary systems. So obviously, ours must have one too. You know, these people are about as whacked as the people who believe in Earth's twin. You know, that on the exact opposite side of the sun, there's another copy of the Earth, but we never see it because it's exactly opposite of us.
Dumbest thing I ever heard. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. So if it's a failed star or brown dwarf, so then they just call them planets?
I guess.
Or isn't it just a failed sun? I don't know.
Planetoid.
So you mean that Earth technically could be a failed sun? It just turned out to be a planet.
No, it's not big enough to be.
I know, but you know, it's just I hate the way they word this shit. How do astronomers go about looking for Planet X? And who are these people? Who are these people? One of the latest space telescopes deployed is called SIRTF, SIRTF, Space Infrared Telescope Facility, recently named to Spitzer. I thought I was going to say Splitzer. What was that guy's name who just got caught with the hookers for $4,300? Spitzer?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, this telescope...
Oh, him, yeah, the guy in New York.
I keep blowing into the mic, and I'm going to have to bring this back. This telescope is special in that it is kept below freezing temperatures and is able to tune in its infrared capability in such a way as to match the temperature of these so-called dust clouds, keep deep in space, allowing for a never-seen clarity deep into space. However that was worded didn't make sense. Then it goes on, it says, what ancient knowledge is recorded about a Planet X? Well, what most astronomers looking for Planet X don't know is that an ancient civilization over 6,000 years old also knew about another planet in our solar system. This ancient civilization produced over 100 of the firsts for modern civilization and was found in where today's modern-day Iraq is now located. So they were over there looking at, it's where they, I guess, found all that shit. The Sumerian culture located in the land also known as Mesopotamia, Babylon, but originally called Sumer. Is it Sumer?
Sumer, yeah.
Is today's Iraq. This amazing civilization had not only invented writing and mathematics, but had some of the most advanced astronomical data recorded that has been found to exist in the form of a written language and stone artifacts with pictograms. And there's
that's where they say the original Garden of Eden is.
Here's what yeah, right. Garden of Eden. I hate the way this microphone is working. I'm never going to use it. All right, Todd, hold on. I'm going to put this article into the chat room here and let you guys look it over as I'm doing it. Here you go. All right, I don't want to send faces. There is the link. It's pretty cool, actually. But Planet X, 2002, no. Okay, here we go. Anyway, that was just a brief history. Okay. My God, this is going to take forever. How am I going to get through this real quick? All right.
I don't know.
Apparently, Planet X, or Nibiru, N-I-B-I-R-U, was spotted by astronomers, and now I know how you feel at the end of the show trying to read these names. Astronomers in the early, well, we're not doing this week UFO History Week. We'll do it never again. I guess we'll do something else next week. In the early 1980s is when they spotted this. In the outermost reaches of the solar system, it has been tracked by infrared observatories. God, have a good night. I'll see you guys next week now. Seen lurking around in the Kuiper belt? And now I should do this.
See, those names I can pronounce.
And now it's speeding right towards us, and it will enter the inner solar system in 2012. So what does this mean to us, Brian? Well, the effects of the approach of Planet X on our planet will be biblical, and what's more, the effects are being felt right now. Millions, even billions of people will die. Global warming will increase. Earth
Great, let's have a big party.
Drought, that's why I'm not paying my bills. Drought, famine, wars, that's not true. Social collapse, even killer solar flares will be caused by Nibiru, blasting through the core of the solar system. All of this will happen in 2012, and we must begin preparing for our demise right now, Brian.
You know what I can't figure out is where are we going to hide? What kind of preparation are you going to make for that kind of crazy? We're going to tear the Earth apart and screw things. So get in your cave.
As investigated in this previous article, No Doomsday in 2012, a lot of weight has been placed on the end of an ancient Mayan calendar, the long count one. According to this calendar and the Mayan myth, something is going to happen on, and they go something in italicized, something is going to happen on December 21st, 2012. Now, the world's Planet X supporters seem to have calculated that this hypothetical deadly planet will arrive from a highly eccentric orbit to wreak gravitational havoc on Earth, sparking geological, social, economic, and environmental damage, killing a high proportion of life in 2012. Then it says, I'm sorry. But the facts behind the Planet X Nibiru myth simply do not add up. Don't worry, Planet X will not be knocking on our door in 2012. And here's why. I'll go real quick. We have 5 minutes left. In 1843, John Couch Adams, a British mathematician and astronomer, studied the orbital perturbations. Here's that word again.
The way that it orbits, eh?
Studied the orbital path of Uranus and deducted that through gravitational interactions there must be an eighth planet tugging at the gas giant. Thus led to the discovery of Neptune orbiting at a distance of 30 AUs from the Sun. There have been numerous occasions where this method has been used to deduce the existence of other bodies in the solar system.
By the way, it's useful to point out that 1 AU astronomical unit is the distance from the Earth to the Sun, or 93 million miles. When they say 30 AUs, basically it's 30 times farther from the Sun than we are.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because I had no idea what I was reading.
A lot of people out there probably didn't either.
Well, Neptune was also experiencing orbital I can't say this word today.
Perturbations? Perturbations?
Perturbations.
Having pancakes.
It happens, man. I got 4 minutes. And on the discovery of Pluto in 1930, it was thought that the aptly named Planet X has been discovered. Alas, Pluto's mass was tiny. And once the orbit of Charon, Pluto's moon, I don't know if I'm saying that right, don't care, was analyzed, it was found that the mass of the Pluto-Charon system was far too small to affect the orbit of Neptune. The hunt for Planet X continued. After years of speculation and historic research, it was believed that a huge body astronomers were looking for was a huge planet or a small star, possibly a companion to our sun, making the solar system a binary system. The name Nibiru was unearthed by the author Zacharias Sitchin, who we all hate. On researching the possible intervention of extraterrestrials in the early history of mankind, Nibiru is a hypothetical planet as taught in ancient Sumerian culture. The Sumerians existed from around 6000 BC to 3000 BC, predating Babylon in the current geographic location of Iraq. There is very little archaeological evidence to suggest this mythical planet has anything to do with Planet X, but since this dubious connection, Planet X and Nibiru are now thought by doomsdayers to be the same thing, an ancient astronomical body that has returned after a long orbit beyond the solar system. Okay, so the Nibiru Planet X connection might be a bit ropey, but now you all know I don't use the word ropey, but I'm reading this. But is there any solid evidence for the modern day Planet X? So is there? No. So the mysterious, they show a picture of an object here. They don't know what it is, but I guess it's so mysterious is this object that astronomers do not know if this is a planet, a giant comet, a nearby protostar that never got hot enough to become a star. That's what you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so shrouded in dust that none of the light can't see through it. All right, so I'm reading this and I got lost. I think
you sound really into the Planet X story too.
What's that?
You sound really into the Planet X thing.
I'm just, I ran out of time. I'm just trying to read it real quick. Well, anyway, probably the most glaring inconsistency in the Planet X hypothesis is that Planet X advocates assertion to that the 1984 IRIS look, I can't even read it because I never read it before. IRAS object and the 1992 body are one and the same thing. As announced by many websites and online videos about Planet X, the 1984 IRAS observation saw Planet X at 50 billion miles from Earth. The 1992 NASA announcement put Planet X at a distance of about 7 billion miles from Earth. Therefore, the logic goes Planet X has traveled 43 billion miles in the course of only 8 years.
Impossible.
After some dubious mathematics, Planet X is therefore expected to reach the core of the solar system in 2012, although many believe it should have arrived already in 2003. So what's wrong with this picture and what's wrong with this prediction?
And it was supposed to be here in 2007, too.
Yeah, and then it just keeps going on and on and on, and then that's the end of that. So
it's going to be 2150, and they're going to be saying, well, Planet X is coming. As it turns out, last paragraph and we'll be done, this is the only strength behind the Planet X myth. When confronted with scientific facts, the Planet X advocates reply with, governments are sending out disinformation and covering up the true observations of Nibiru. Although I enjoy a good conspiracy theory, I will not support anything in the name of Planet X. If the basic science beyond what we are led to believe are found of Planet X existing is wrong, it seems a poor argument to say the government did it. Therefore, the story that Planet X will arrive in 2012 is, in this guy's view, total bunkum, but helps to sell doomsday books and DVDs by scaring people. Which is what I've been saying for a long time.
It'll always be in the realms of a Sumerian myth. The word myth. Anyway.
Mark Hazelwood has a book out there, How to Survive Planet X.
God, how? How would you do such a thing?
You wouldn't.
You can't. And look, people are saying the bees, are disappearing. The polar caps are melting. We're getting all kinds of earthquakes and horrible storms. That's been going on for billions of years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, so, you even mentioned before, if it wasn't for maybe a couple of ice comets or whatever those things hit the Earth, pretty much this was all just molten lava. The whole place was just a hot planet, right?
Well, the planet has heated and cooled many times throughout its 5 billion years of existence. To expect that it's going to remain exactly as it is now for the rest of time, people are just stupid if they think that. Our planet is constantly evolving.
It is. Your house and shit like that. Maybe, I don't know, but I talked to some guy today who thinks otherwise.
And for those people who do believe the Planet X is coming, quit telling the rest of us you're going to be sorry, because you know what? You are too.
We're all going to change it. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen because we're going to make it happen, not because it's something, unless it is the polar shifts. And
unless they're all going to hide out in Tom Cruise's new alien-proof bunker.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? That thing must be nice, dude.
I'm sure he's got a big screen down there and everything.
He's got everything. He's probably got 10 years worth of everything down there. Women, movies, food. Women.
What's he need a woman for? He's got Katie.
Oh, I know.
No offense to Katie, but,
No, she's twice his height, though. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not tall either, so who am I to say anything? But that's Tom Cruise.
I would think she was smarter than that, too. Oh, Zeno.
No, she looked like she would be smarter, but, you know, she's not. How old is she anyway?
She's, what, 25, 26 now?
Oh, yeah. She met him like 5 years ago, I think, too.
Man, he hit the jackpot on that. But then he made her shave his head, shave her head.
He did? I don't remember that.
Well, he didn't make her do that, but you know, she's have long hair now. It's like Butch, like she's a male in a lesbian relationship or something.
They just now did that? She just shaved her head?
Nah, it was like a year ago or so.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that one. Shit. And then there is going to be major changes to the show. This time it will happen. I have no choice, but I'll talk about that later on. And hopefully later on in the show, I didn't have any contact with anyone this week because, Brian, you were sick. I've had major migraines all week and didn't feel well myself, but I don't know how everybody else is feeling. I feel it's all a conspiracy.
And in fact, I'm still not feeling well, so if I suddenly disappear, I haven't left. I just left the room. And
just let us know in the chat room there, and I want to.
I may not have time.
Well, if we hear any
coming from the background, you'll know what I'm doing.
I see in the chat room we have a guest, 1461, whoever that is, welcome, Joe Jogger. We have Symmetrical Profile, of course, Brian Debunker, myself, and No Drama, which is Ken, No Drama 1965 on YouTube, and Capricorn 11.
It's Wayne and Garth.
Party on, Wayne. I don't know, was I off there?
I don't. You know, I never really liked that movie. So.
Am I quiet? Somebody, you didn't like that movie?
I didn't like that movie.
No way.
I guess I'm the only person in America who didn't like that movie.
No, you know, there's some movies out there that other people love that I couldn't stand either. So, okay, did you like, forget it. I don't want to even think about shit like that. All right, let's just talk about this.
What, Behind the Green Door? What?
Well, what was the actress that was in that one? That was like a porno movie, right?
Was that, I don't know, Linda Lovelace in that? I don't know.
Anyway.
They all...
Oh, yeah, this Jeff Peckman video. Jeff Peckman alien video.
Right.
I guess what's the guy's name? Stan Romanek is the guy who supposedly... We talked about... I briefly talked about it before you came on again last week, about this video looking real fake, but I guess the video is supposedly out there, or it's not really out there. It looks like people are trying to duplicate it and actually making it more real than what it looks like in the picture.
Right, he won't give it out to the public now, his actual video.
Oh, yeah, well, I got to play a clip. He was on Larry King, and he was talking about that. That's what I should start off with right now.
That cracked me up.
I know. This is some funny shit.
They won't let me release it.
This guy claims that... dude, I can't find the video. This is what I hate about getting all disheveled before this. All right, so, oh, brother, if you go into YouTube and type it in, do you have yours loaded up? Can we hear yours?
Actually, no, I don't.
Shit. All right, so I'm going to type it in here. Well, the guy claims he videotaped an alien hovering outside or walking around an 8-foot ledge. The window is 8 foot high, and you can see right through it. It looks totally fake. It looks like some sort of trickery with maybe CGI or some mirrors, windows, who the hell knows what he did. It definitely doesn't look real. But now he says he's not going to release it because MUFON won't let him, or the public won't let him.
The scientists won't let him.
Scientists won't let him release it.
You know, like he doesn't own rights on his own video.
Yes, how's that possible? I think maybe somebody paid him for the rights for the video, obviously.
No, I think it's more like he doesn't want to be exposed quite yet.
And when I saw this guy, now what do I do? I'm going to put Larry King, Romanek, alien video. Didn't I give you the link to that? I thought I gave you the link in the chat room. Darn it. Yeah, I did. Didn't I? Here it is.
Let's see if I can find it. I can post it in the chat room.
I found it. Here it is. Yeah, let's listen to this real quick. This should be good. Larry King.
All right, we have an extraordinary story out of Denver. Let's meet our panelists. Stan Romanek is the man who claims to have shot footage of an extraterrestrial. Jeff Peckman is pushing for a ballot initiative to establish an extraterrestrial...
Is it me or does Larry King sound like he's like a little bit drunk in there? Extraterrestrial.
He always sounds that way.
Really? Because I just started watching this guy every time he's a UFO thing. I never watched him before, but man, the rumors are true. All right, here we go.
Affairs Commission on the Denver City Council. James Meadow is a reporter with the Rocky Mountain News. He attended today's showing of a video that purports to show a space alien. And Jerry Hoffman is an instructor at the Colorado Film School, a veteran film editor who has analyzed the footage shot by Stan Romanek. Stan, when did you take this? What did you see?
It was July 17th, 2003. I actually thought we had a peeping Tom. I was living in Nebraska at the time. I had young twin teenage daughters. Every once in a while, at night I'd get up, let's say to go to the kitchen from watching TV, and the windows were up, and I'd see a head look like out of the corner of my eye, some movement in the window.
I'm going to pause it right there. You heard him say that he set this up because he thought he had a peeping Tom, because he said he'd wake up and then go get something to eat or whatever, and he'd see a head popping through the window. Isn't there any police reports that should be with this peeping Tom? You think he would have talked to all his neighbors? Well, I know someone did an interview with him and asked him about that, and he says, I have over, I don't know, 20 reports or something like that, but yet nobody's ever seen any of these police reports. And none of his neighbors have come out to say, yes, there is a peeping Tom. Nobody else has seen this except for this guy, so it's really strange. Doesn't make any sense so far, but here we go.
And every time I ran outside to try to catch who I thought was looking in our window, there was nobody there. I talked to some of the researchers and scientists involved in my case, and they suggested, well, you know, next time this happens, get your video camera out, put it on a tripod, put it on night shot, and pretend you're going to bed. So
Wait, he said he went to scientists. Why didn't he go to the police with that?
Well,
the scientist, and that's exactly what he said. He didn't say, he said, well, the scientist that I talked to said you should set it up. But if he wasn't lying, if this was real, he would have said, I went to local police, and they told me to set up a camera. But he said scientists told me to do it because he's got this history since 2003 of videotaping strange objects and being visited. And I think this is the same guy who was on the Oprah Winfrey Show a couple, 3, 4 years back, and who videotaped Sirius and didn't have a tripod, so it looked like it was moving back and forth with the tree in a way. But anyway, were you going to say something, Brian?
no, you already said it.
Oh, good. See, I can read minds. Never. All right, we'll have to do that again someday. Rich the Sidekick. Oh, boy, that was fun. And here we go. Are you okay?
Exactly.
You all right?
I'm fine.
What is it? What? It's not going the way you thought?
No, I'm just feeling dizzy.
So am I.
got my camera ready, put it on a tripod, pointed it towards the window, and instead of going to bed, I actually went to the next room and got a magazine and wanted to see if I could maybe see it for myself, catch it, and that's how it all happened.
And this was 5 years ago?
Yes.
Why is it just comes to light now?
Well, there's a lot of things involved with my case, a lot of evidence. The reason it's coming out now, there's a lot of scientists and researchers involved in my case, and we want to make sure that...
Your case being what? A case meaning what?
Well, there's a lot of encounters involved with my case, a lot of UFO encounters involved with my case, and there's a lot of physical evidence, and we wanted to make sure that all the evidence has been looked at by serious scientists. And I have, the reason it's taken so long, if it were up to me, I would have just given this all a long time ago, but researchers and scientists say, you know, if you want this documented correctly, if you want us to make sure that, you know, everything's what it looks like it is, then, you know, let us do that before you give it out to the public.
I get it.
That is so stupid. Isn't that the dumbest thing you've ever heard, pretty much?
He's like the dumbest person
so
I've ever heard.
I mean, he's stumbling over his words. I mean, there's another couple minutes here left, but I just wanted to say, I mean, the fact that they're saying, and now this guy's certain. Now, like, let's say, for instance, I'm certain I caught a UFO on tape. I don't need to have a scientist tell me or anything else that it's legitimate. If I see an alien outside my window, I'm damn well going to know I'm not videotaping a balloon or something else. I mean, this sounds so, it's like this is really bad. He's stuttering over his words. I mean, the guy sitting next to him looks like a puppet. He hasn't moved. He looks like he could be the alien for all we know. And that's, whatever, Peckerwood, Jeff Peckman.
Right.
He's just sitting there. The guy hasn't even blinked. I don't even know if he's real. All right, let's hear what else he says. And Larry King's like, I don't believe a word you're saying either, but anyway, you can just tell.
James Meadow, you watched it, right? Correct? You've seen the video.
I have been at the video. That's right, Larry.
Tell us what you make of it.
Well, it's a little bit odd. I mean, it's spooky on the one hand to think that this might be an alien, but to tell you the truth, there's not much there, at least what we saw. We only saw like about a minute, 2 minutes. It's grainy, it's dark. There's a kind of a skull-shaped head that